Hello, how's it going, folks? Today we're watching a movie because today, April 5th, is First Contact Day. First Contact takes place in Bozeman, Montana, April 5th, 2063. And, yeah, that's 42 years from now. Hopefully we'll all still be alive then. Hopefully. And we can have a little... the YouTube channel, I assume, will be dead in 42 years. I hope. I'm doing something else with my life in 42 years. But...
I hope we're all doing some in 40 years. 42 years.
Yeah, just gotta live through World War III.
Yeah, World War III is supposed to kick off in, what, 2 years? According to Star Trek? It's real.
I thought it already started.
It might have.
World War III.
Star Trek, World War III, Memory Alpha. Let's see.
It's like 90%
What
of the
about
population
Eugenics
dies,
War?
right?
Eugenics Wars was in the 90s. Okay, World War III is supposed to start in 2026. So 5 years.
Oof.
Oh, we got time. We're good.
We got time.
We might actually happen at that point.
Well, if they think it's gonna start around that time, if they assume it's gonna start around that time.
I mean, look,
I don't know if it's gonna start around.
just because Russia's massing troops on a border with another country, and then the US and NATO are pledging to defend that country, and we're sending our own everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Everything's fine. At least everything should be fine.
Nothing's gonna happen with Russia. They're so friendly.
No, everything's gonna be fine.
So yeah, everybody have your movie First Contact queued up because I can't show it on the stream for obvious copyright reasons.
Copyright.
It's harder to get a copy of the movie than it is for the show. So I posted a link where you can find it to stream, but I'll post it again.
Turns out it's not on Netflix.
No, it was never on Netflix.
No, it definitely
Amazon.
used to be on Netflix in the U.S.
Yeah,
at least.
That's where I watched it first, but that was a long time ago.
It got moved to Amazon Prime, and in December, at the end of December, they took all the Star Trek movies off Amazon Prime.
Oh, good grief.
Because they wanted to prop up CBS All Access.
Bill, did you not get set up for the stream?
No, I was on a phone call with somebody that took way too long to talk.
Okay.
Those Tellarites talk a lot, don't they? Yeah.
Anyway, so I got into Netflix, and it's not in there. And then I tried to sign into CBS All Access, and it says I have the wrong password. And then I tried Amazon Prime, and somebody says it's not there.
I mean,
Well, you can-
it's there, but it's not included with Prime.
Oh.
You have to rent it if you're using that.
And then for some reason, it didn't want to play HD on my device, being a web browser on a computer. So, yeah.
Let me find...
Which web browser?
Chrome?
Do we need to delay another couple minutes? Because we can.
No.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Just do it.
Hope.
That's fine.
Play it.
We'll do an extra 2 minutes on the countdown.
There is a plugin for Chrome to get full HD, but they want you to use IE
Maybe
or Edge.
an obvious question, but when you be able to, like, you can still, like, just like you're doing now, you can still live stream the Star Trek, but just so that we can actually see what's going on. Can you just like say, and I know people do this, but can you just like say that you have no like no affiliation, like
No.
you know,
Copyright
work for Star
law
Trek.
doesn't care
Yeah.
about that.
I hope you know what I'm talking about, but I don't know.
I can't show the video, I can't play the audio, or the stream
to
it's
protect
just
the
gonna get shut
copyright.
down.
Okay. Send it
It's
when
not
it's
like based on
Blu-ray.
my experience with YouTube, I can get away with like 15 seconds of uninterrupted video before it's claimed.
I could put it up in the Discord, but it wouldn't.
That's got legality.
I mean, you know what I mean. You're like you're live streaming. You're live streaming for the sole purpose.
Copyright law means that it
For the sole purpose.
basically
For the sole
I
purpose of
can't.
this.
So I
Whether
regularly
for
watch
entertainment
movies
or
with
profit, they'll just do it.
I regularly watch movies with friends in Discord and stream over Discord with that. I can stream it to the people in the channel here in the voice chat, but that's it.
Yeah, because CBS is probably not going to come for your Discord channel, but I can't put it on YouTube.
Well, it's your Discord, first of all, Ryan. So it's up to you if you
It
want.
is.
Do you want me to
It's
actually
your
do
Discord.
that? And I don't, one way or the other. It's only a few bucks on any of the major services.
That link you put in Discord, Pluto is free, and you can watch it for free.
It has ads, so you'll have to resync occasionally, but
Well,
Unless
I
you
can get
get
it in, I can get my CBS All Access. Good grief! No, I don't want to answer a survey. I can't.
if you want to answer a survey.
Well, it's not all access.
I'm trying to
anymore.
watch a
It's
movie.
Paramount Plus now, so I don't know
No.
if it's redirecting you or not, but it is different.
Well, I'm trying to get into my. Oh my gosh! Paramount Plus sent me an email. It says celebrate Star Trek First Contact Day.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
You
Yeah.
have 30
So-
seconds.
It's 25 seconds from the stream start. Let me go ahead and do the regular.
Clicking
blur.
on
Good.
the link.
I actually did unmute everyone. That's important. We blur the screen, 10 seconds, and then you can queue up later. Nothing's going to be happening for a little bit. Press play.
That's right.
in 5,
The intro.
4, 3, 2, 1, play. And Paramount symbol. So yeah, people in the YouTube, our copies might not be exactly the same, so you can use the blurred screen to try and sync up to see when the scene changes. That's what it's for, because copies are a little bit different.
The opening
Whatever
theme.
floats your boat.
You can also call out like when the title comes into focus.
Rick Berman.
Rick Berman production. Fade out. Blue. It's cloudy now. Focusing. Focused. Star Trek First Contact. What's that
It's very
effect
good.
on the title sequence? Is that supposed to be rust?
No idea.
I guess it is.
I think it's being assimilated.
All the music there.
It's being assimilated.
One
The
of the
opening
best
theme
movie
here.
themes.
Yeah, the opening theme here is composed by Jerry Goldsmith, who also composed Star Trek Motion
You
Picture.
also did. Actually.
And
Voyager.
this is the single most beautiful piece of music I've ever heard in any Star Trek
Yeah.
ever. And I'm missing
Yeah,
it because I don't have it playing.
Oh, by the way, right now the Discord voice chat is full because we don't want it to get too crazy, so we have a limit. But there is a queue you can join, the Watchalong queue voice channel, and just whenever a spot opens up, you'll be automatically moved into the real voice chat.
Jerry Goldsmith also did the music for Stargate.
There's Alice
The series.
Krieg, who is the Borg Queen.
That was a poor choice.
Why? She seems good.
No, I mean the tween itself, not the actress.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think he means the concept.
yeah, having a queen is kind of not really in theme with the Borg collective.
Hmm.
Well, they wanted all those data scenes.
It's okay.
Yeah, I do like First Contact, especially with Data. You know, I told you I like Data. I don't know if I did, but I like Data. So I like the Data scenes on here.
Yep. Everybody loves Brent
Yeah.
Spiner.
Yeah. Another person I met at the convention last year.
Produced by
But it's
Rick
what everyone
Berman.
knows they're here for Star Trek, so they just put all of these titles in the start, get it out of the way. Hey, directed by Jonathan Frakes.
I don't see that yet.
I didn't realize more was.
Now I see it.
I mean, it used
Yeah.
to be a thing where you had to run the credits before the actual movie, or you would get fined by the unions.
Oh, hey, Captain.
I think didn't George Lucas just eat that fine for Star Wars?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He looks comfortable.
It's a very cozy little... How are you supposed to step out of that? There's not even a walkway. How do you get... How do
So
you get
much
the Borg
wasted
anywhere?
space.
It's not a
So
real
much
Borg
wasted
cube.
space.
I mean, I assume it's what it looked like when he was actually inside. It's a bit odd that the Borg cube is sphere. Oh, no, I guess he's not in the cube right now. He's in the sphere that's in the cube.
Very epic fanfare for Borg celebration.
Because I was thinking that that room he was in was circular, wasn't square. But if he's in the sphere with the Queen, that makes sense.
Eye horror.
That already
Yeah.
happened in Picard.
Oh boy. Oh, he's
Right, it
fine now.
definitely
Everything's
was. It's
okay.
been in the past in Picard. But still.
Just kidding.
Man, that wasn't even a needle. That was like a full-on drill bit.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Also, a little bit of body horror here.
I think everybody's a few seconds ahead because of the version they're using, but that's okay.
I didn't sync up correctly because it didn't start playing when you said press play for some reason. The interface on Paramount Plus is garbage.
Oh, listen to this guy's voice. Listen to his accent. The guy's about to pop on screen. It's going to change dramatically. Yeah, that. He starts out very, very New Zealand, and then the very next sentence, he goes to American accent. Got a bad time, Jean-Luc. We've detected a Borg incoming.
I didn't catch the Admiral's name,
This is my
but he
favorite
plays
ship
an
of
Admiral
all
in
of them.
Voyager later as well.
Okay. Is he from New Zealand or the United States there?
He's American.
Okay.
The actor is American too.
Beautiful ship, huh?
But if you... that can't be right.
Mm.
If he's actually American, the actor, why would he have a New Zealand accent in one line?
It is the most beautiful ship. Well,
Oh, the Sovereign's great.
most beautiful appearance because it's the only time they had a physical model for it.
Oh, really?
wow.
Yeah, they destroyed the D partly because it was such a hassle to deal with the studio model, and they built this,
That makes sense.
and they only used it for First Contact. They went full CG after that.
So that was Admiral
Nice.
Hayes, played by Jack Shearer.
Is that the same Admiral Hayes from?
Yep,
Yeah,
Admiral
Admiral-
Hayes from Voyager. Also Admiral
Yeah.
Strickler. Apparently that's a different character. He's just another admiral.
Oh, I never knew he played that. It's been a while since I've seen that.
I'm just looking it up to try and confirm whether he's from the United States or New Zealand.
Admiral Strickler one is from an alternate timeline, so he doesn't count
Okay.
as an actual person. But the actor has done also a Romulan in the first O'Brien Must Suffer episode where he time travels back and forth. And he also played a Bolian ambassador in the episode where Dr. Bashir has to handle the ambassadors.
Okay, I can't find any information on where he was born, so I'm just going to assume he's a Kiwi.
Aren't they supposed to be at warp?
Probably.
No, they're
Why?
they're currently at the neutral zone.
Those
They've
stars
just
are
done a
very
scan.
Oh.
comfortable out there.
They've just done a scan, so they're at the neutral zone, I think.
I mean, if they are at warp and the stars are stationary, maybe they just fix that plot error. Because stars aren't supposed to move that fast, even if you're at warp. They're real far away. Much more dramatic lighting on the Enterprise E. Oh, there's his name. So they're on the edge of the neutral zone right now. That's pretty far away from Earth. How long is it going to take to get there? It's got to take days, right?
About 5 seconds.
However long serves the plot.
Oh, okay. Oh, Lieutenant Hawk
barely
with
an
his very distinctive
inconvenience.
face.
Oh yeah.
There you are.
Oh, I had no memory of what this bridge looks like. It is weird.
It doesn't even have the like wood paneling along the sides. It doesn't have the tactical
Yeah.
station behind Picard.
It's just a bunch of separate stations. It's weird.
I mean, it makes sense. It probably makes more sense the Enterprise D, which is a luxury liner, but it's different. And I don't like things that are different.
the ship, the ship, the way it looks on the inside. Not really, but the way it looks on the inside kind of reminds me of the Discovery Bridge.
A little bit.
A little bit. I'm saying a little bit, but
Yeah. Oh, there's Tracy. Right behind Picard. Oh, bye, Tracy. She's gone.
It's funny they gave Troy a uniform for this.
There's Tracy again.
Tracy got to be in a feature movie.
Oh, really?
Tracy's the most important person on the Enterprise. She's up everywhere. It wouldn't be the Enterprise without Lieutenant J. What's he gonna say?
Now the Defiant is in this battle.
Did Brent Spiner just swear in my Star Trek?
Oh my god.
He can't do that.
I mean, he drops an S-bomb in the movie before this.
Yeah.
That's a Defiant,
Disgusting.
I think.
he doesn't do it till later though.
No,
Wait,
in Generations he does. Just before they crash.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and later on in the crash, yeah.
What's closer to Earth, Deep Space Nine or the Neutral Zone?
Apparently Deep Space Nine. It's already there. Those are some weird maneuvers by the Defiant. It's kind of like drifting when it makes a turn.
That was an interesting addition to this. Because
Which would make sense.
Deep
Oh,
Space Nine
there's-
was, of course, happening completely separately.
Oh, what's that guy's name? The main Powers Offline guy. He's in Parks and Rec. I don't remember his name, but he made the board game The Cones of Dunshire. It's apparently a fantastic board game, 10 out of 10.
Prepare for remming speed, yes. That's a beautiful ship.
I'm looking around at all the
And
kit
you guys
bashes.
wipe off behind me.
Some of those ships look weird. One of them kind of looked like a Starfleet Jem'Hadar ship. The same sort of design, just with a Starfleet saucer. Adam Scott, that's his name, yes.
ILM threw the Millennium Falcon into this scene in the background, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Isn't Akira?
It's like the Zoic threw the Serenity into Battlestar Galactica, so...
And apparently he's just allowed to do that. He just takes command. It's his fleet now. Nobody's going to call him out on it.
I mean,
There's
the Admiral's dead.
The
so-
Admiral is dead, so he's
He is.
one of the highest ranking officers, and his experience puts him as the lead ranking officer.
And he's just in the flagship.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at a map, I don't know if it's canon or not, but I don't think there is actually a canon map.
Oh, that ship on the right. Oh, it's gone.
But
Oh,
I would say the Neutral Zone and Deep Space Nine are roughly equidistant to Earth.
Okay.
It's quite funny how they're having such difficulty. Then the Enterprise arrives, and it just boom.
They made a real big hole in that thing real quick.
So green.
It's pretty hard to see, but Captain Picard could have done to be a little less dramatic there, because in the time between him saying get ready to fire and actually fire when he took his dramatic pause, another ship just got blown up.
Right.
We're kind of pressed for time here, Captain. Speed it up.
Oh, there we go. Now I can actually watch. I'll send you guys this.
I would have really liked if in the later movies, just they made increasingly convoluted reasons that Worf is back on the ship.
Yeah, they don't even try an insurrection. They're just
No,
like,
he's
oh,
just
hey,
there.
Worf's here now.
But they could have said like, oh, we found him drifting in some pod that we happened to run by. Next movie, he happened to be on vacation on this planet that we're saving. Wow.
We happened to swing by Ryza, and who did he see there?
It's Worf.
Star Wars has the small universe theory, which says that even though the universe is really big, the right people happen to be in the right time at the right place for the story to happen.
I mean, at least Star Wars has the excuse of the Force did it. The Force has a will. But no, here it doesn't really make sense.
Oh, we don't
Well,
care.
Worf being
We
here
want
makes
more.
sense.
Wormhole
because he's on the
aliens.
Defiant.
Okay. So I created a new CBS All Access account just for
Okay.
today. Good grief.
Goodness gracious me.
Did you see what I did?
So that link you posted, the Ryan's Edits YouTube channel cannot officially endorse that link, as it is technically piracy. But I mean, I can't tell people not to use it. I'm a little confused as to what the state of the Earth is at this point. They say very few survivors, all major governments destroyed, but they also sometimes make reference to states still existing.
Everybody's camping in greenhouses.
Does the United States still exist? Or is he in what
They
used
don't
to be
say.
Montana?
Well,
Yeah,
they always
the
say
United
that
States still exist. They mention that in Enterprise.
Montana would still be a location, even if not.
Yeah, in Enterprise, Earth seems to be doing just fine, but I don't think that jives with Riker's line of very few governments left. It was just a throwaway line, so feel free to retcon it, but...
Enterprise is 100 years after this, right?
Riker's memory, history could just be rusty.
It's not 100 years after, because Zephram Cochrane was still alive.
During the
knows that
dedication
one?
ceremony of the Warp 5 facility, but
In Enterprise, someone asked T'Pol about why Montana or whatever. Why the United States instead of somewhere else? So
Okay.
the country existed.
Mm.
It's been 90 years officially? Okay.
Are these not the weakest torpedoes you've ever seen, too?
Yes, they
like,
are. Maybe the sphere just doesn't have weapons on it, so they're just shooting out, like, engine exhaust. That's all they have.
Meteors would arguably do less damage, or about the same damage.
Should do more damage, I think.
It's funny, I think it's this gorgeous new ship, and then most of the action takes place on the planet, as I recall.
Today is a
after the
good day
Third
to
World
die.
War. That's a definite timeline we can work with.
Today is a good day to die.
I'd rather not if it's all the same to you.
Mm-hmm.
I would not either.
I generally
All right.
prefer to stay alive.
All right, Renee. Go ahead.
Star
Yeah, I was
Trek
saying that.
Enterprise Episode 1
All right.
year.
What kind of aiming was that?
It was very effective. I mean, it's what it was apparently.
It's just
Worked out great.
line.
2063 to 2151. So yeah, 90 years. Just under 90 years. April 4th. I mean, why though?
Why? What?
Why are they looking to just stop first contact?
Yeah, they should literally do
They could just-
any number of other things.
They could go back
Yeah.
like 5 years earlier and just kill everyone.
Good question.
Or they could have just sent another cube. What would they have done then? If they
Maybe,
just
maybe it's
second
their obsession with the efficiency. Like, this was the single most efficient way to get rid of.
Well, apparently not, because it didn't work. Now they have to send another cube, and it takes
Okay.
more time.
Well, I'm sure the temporal Cold War forced this to happen at this point because this is how the Federation was created.
Ah.
Also, I was in sleep space or whatever, getting my computer up, but so I missed it. But I don't think I was ever really satisfied with the explanation of the Borg just zipping through a time warp at will to a specific time that they targeted.
Yeah,
Why?
they kind
What's
of.
wrong with that?
I mean, they did that in the original series, but then they just kind of stopped. because they realize that it makes things way too complicated.
This is the Pogo paradox.
Hmm?
It's mentioned in Voyager's relativity
I've never heard
causality
it.
loop, in which interference to prevent an event through the use of time travel actually triggers the same event.
Oh, huh.
The Borg could also have just
That's
sent it to you back in time in their sector and then just sent it to Earth.
Hey, she just swore on your Star Trek.
She what? She swore in my Star
Swore.
Trek?
She said bullshit.
You just swore on my Star Trek stream?
Oh, sorry.
How dare you? There's not a
I thought he
single
said
instance
you
of
did.
swearing in Star Trek.
I thought he said you did. You swore on your Star Trek.
Well, I didn't quoted her, so I compounded the issue.
How dare you?
Have you ever heard?
All right, but okay.
Data's a nice
Have you
guy.
heard the hypothesis about the Borg? The reason why they don't send 12 cubes to assimilate humanity is that they're actually farming humanity for technology.
Yes.
They just push humanity just enough
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I kind of like that.
to develop
just
new
farm.
technology, and then they come
That's
assimilate
good.
it later.
Because it
And
could
the
have worked.
Federation is the perfect group to farm because humans are just insane and come up with all kinds of wacky space nonsense.
Well, we know from the Voyager finale that they really did
They only had
develop
one
all sorts of
flux
new tech, like
capacitor.
that fancy armor stuff, to fight the Borg.
Yeah.
That's a really good theory. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
This character's
Argos
name is-
has been muted and
Argos
deafened
is
in
very
Discord. Argos, if you're here, you're free to stay, but if you're just muted and like watching on stream, I'm gonna disconnect you so that someone else can join. Okay. Oh, they changed.
Yeah,
the
but
logo
Voyager
a
was
little bit.
Decide that. Did they just figure Geordi's visor wasn't as big screen worthy or something? It's such an odd
Well-
change to make.
Well, I thought that
I guess.
they just finally said he should have real eyes finally.
No, those
But
aren't
why?
real.
Really got tired of it.
Those aren't real though. They're just implants.
I mean, it did 7 seasons of television. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't have actually blind people on the big screen. That wouldn't fly. So this is an old... Was it a nuclear missile? An old repurposed missile?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Which strangely doesn't affect anyone in the nearby area later.
So, what exactly is Zephram Cochrane doing out here in the middle of Montana?
Where's he
Is
getting
he-
the supplies?
You
Well,
know,
he's
okay, that too.
grounding
But I
to
mean,
store
like,
chips, I think.
I'm guessing he's fixing that.
why is he doing this? Is he just an inventor, a tinkerer, or
Doing it for money,
why isn't he? I don't know.
Explains it quite explicitly later on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's just some guy
Well,
that's
I mean,
building a warp
because-
engine to try and sell it.
I mean, you could be a smart, intelligent guy, but be like quirky and whatnot.
Ren,
I'm
you're
guessing that's what you're
extremely
going
quiet. I can't hear what you're saying. I know
Move
you're saying
closer to the
something.
microphone, Ren.
Okay, hold on. I'm on. 1 second.
They're making a civil war down there. They're making a civil war down.
Conduits.
Civil war down there.
Oh, that's such
Yeah,
a
who
gorgeous.
was that
ship.
group that Zephram Cochrane, or not Zephram, but that Lily was talking about? She said, like, what faction are you with? I
You
guess
think
that's a result
post
of
World War
American
III
history.
they could see the ship in orbit, no matter what
Humanity's been split into
distance they
different
were.
groups.
I thought this was World War III, like during Afghanistan. I mean, that was Afghanistan down there.
Eastern Coalition. Yeah, World War III's over now. It's been 10 years since the war. But it's still... Everything's
Our
still
first
screwed up
red
from the
shirt.
war. Oh, Paul's dead. Poor Paul.
Oh, didn't even
Well, no,
name
it's
him
not
until
dead.
after. He didn't even name him. Didn't even name him until after he was dead.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's fine. He's alive. He's probably going to show up later.
That's true.
As a board.
Do we actually see him when he shows up? If he shows
I
up?
don't remember what he looked like.
Fair enough.
I sense a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find a picture of him. Star Trek First Contact.
Oh, jeez.
The two worst people to leave is Zephyr and Topran.
Okay, he has a memory alpha page. I found him. And yes, he will show up later. 100%. We're going to get Paul. Oh, I wonder if Ursukawa's Dr. Ogawa at this point.
Hello, tradition of misnaming the number of deaths on the ship.
Yeah.
Wait, when did she get actually injured? She just fainted, didn't she?
Yeah. I mean, she was injured, and then Dr. Crusher just drugged her. Wait, what are you wearing, Captain? Oh, that's your beam down gear.
Yeah.
He's trying to be sneaky.
That's just the temperature that they like their tea. Dun dun dun.
My God. What is this?
That's really hot. That is toasty.
That's 100.
Over 100 degrees Celsius. Or under Fahrenheit, yeah.
Was Voyager being filled during this?
Fahrenheit, no, yeah.
What during this?
Yeah, I mean...
Was Voyager being filmed during this? Because that was their sick bay.
Yes.
So they just hijacked their sick bay.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Tracy.
Yeah, I
again.
mean, they did the exact same thing in Star Trek 6. Basically used the same settings of engineering from TNG.
Everything was changed.
They stole the mess hall.
This is why he brought Data back.
Gonna love this.
Could we evacuate all the air from that deck?
That's a good idea.
Are you swearing at Ryan's Discord channel? Huh?
Could we evacuate all the air and cut power to that deck completely so they can't access any computer systems?
Oh, I forgot about this.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Yay!
Now, I'm not totally clear on
yes.
why there's a Jeffries tube in the sick bay, but it works out.
Because reasons.
Well,
they
Mr.
worked in
Suter had to
multiple
use
series
it
worth
too.
of doctors into this scene.
I always assumed that they had it there for just this purpose, as an alternate route of escape in the event of an emergency.
I guess. I remember Robert Picardo telling the story of how he got this role, where he would people had told him that the movie was happening, but he wasn't in it yet. So he went up to one of the actors like, "Hey, yeah, that premise sounds really good. That sounds really interesting. But my question is, why wouldn't that advanced ship have an EMH?" It's like, "Oh, that's an interesting idea. Think about that." Then a couple of months later, he went up to one of the producers like, "That sounds pretty cool, but I'm thinking if that ship's so advanced, why doesn't it have an EMH?" It's like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting, Robert. I'll think about it." Then he went up to the executive producer a couple months later, and it was like, "Hey,
really? Wow!"
You just kept asking.
Yeah, I love this era. There's so many.
He doesn't have a visor anymore.
No visor.
Yeah.
That clip is of Robert Picardo is on YouTube somewhere at a convention where he does that talk.
It's somewhere. I can't. I don't know the title of it.
And if you come to the toy for a second,
looks so buff.
the dots are not so doorstep.
Oh, and Tracy has a gun. I think that was Tracy. She was behind someone else, so I only saw her hair.
Well, this is a whole all hands on deck situation.
Yep. Okay. Oh no, I don't think that was Tracy. We just got a different angle. That's not Tracy. She just has similar hair. Well, no wonder the Borg took over the ship.
Playing faster than yours for some reason.
There's a scene in this film that always got me a good laugh. Like when they realize that the Borg are activated. One of the guys is climbing up like a ladder, and one of the Borg just pulls him down. That always give me a good laugh.
So why don't they just replicate some M16s?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because later on in the film, right? I mean, they go into the holodeck, right? And Picard
Phaser
uses
is a
like a
more
Tommy gun or
elegant
whatever.
weapon for a more civilized age.
Yeah, he uses a Tommy gun, right? Like with the holographic safeties off, and just mows down one of the Borg and takes it down.
We could also replicate like a sword.
There's also the TR-116.
The transporter gun from
Yep.
Deep Space Nine.
Literally developed to fight the Borg.
I thought that doorbell was in the movie.
No.
Sorry.
Was it in the movie?
No.
No doorbells here in Montana.
I didn't think there was one. There's yelling going on. Music. Loud music.
Oh, Zephyrim.
Oh, it was
Someone
About
had
how
to
many
clean that
takes
up.
they did of that.
Argue about time. Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah.
You okay?
It's about time you better start going Cochrane. Cochrane.
Okay, so she had a few drinks and then a few shots, and then she just had another shot.
She's doing.
If Betazoids get drunk, do you suppose that they start like reading people's thoughts wrong?
What she's doing right now.
Yeah, you want to be a fireman who likes cream cheese and
The guy just wakes up in the background. And Deanna down.
Yeah, I could agree with that opinion from Deanna. Zephyr Cochrane is nuts, absolutely. He's a crazy man. We learn in Enterprise he's going to start ranting about some cyborgs that came from space and threatened Earth.
Is it true that they were
Either that
looking for
happened.
Sean Connery to play Jeffrey Cochran?
They wanted Sean Connery to play Spock's brother in Final Frontier.
Oh, interesting.
That's why the planet is called Shakari. It's a
I've heard of that.
rearranging.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
an
called
abbreviation
Shakari
of-
because it was actually called Sakari, but they just assumed how Sean Connery would say it.
I think it's Sean Connery's name rearranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would have been fun if they'd managed that. Although I like
I love when
Data,
they
that's
say a
not how you
plot
hold a
thing.
gun.
how it turned out anyway.
Yeah, especially if you're about to fire it.
Yeah. But I don't love how they say a plot thing in a minute of don't fire that at too many shots. We don't know how long it will last, and then they just keep doing so.
All right, everybody keep an eye out for Paul.
I think Data should have been the first one down the hatch there.
Was he not?
Yeah.
It was the first one out in the corridor.
I'm seeing the corner right now. Just so I'm up to speed.
Yep, we're all in the corridor. Data's feeling anxiety.
Yeah, I'm watching it. But I mean, I'm able to watch this. I found a free live streaming service that I'm watching off.
it's emotional chip like it's nothing.
How convenient for him.
I mean, it's got his standard emotions that we know he has.
Oh, is this
Does
Paul?
he ever do
No.
any emotions rest of the movie? I don't remember.
Does he express emotions in the movies? Yeah.
I mean, no. After this
Yeah.
point, does he just keep it off?
Yeah, he did. It
He
was like,
does for a while.
Okay.
The Borg Queen will turn it back on.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I've seen this since I saw it in the theater.
Oh, who's that? Is it Paul? That's not Paul. No. That's Paul.
Hi there.
We need to get synced up here.
But you are a threat already. You're standing around holding guns, and they're trying
So
to
they
capture the
consider
ship.
us at the yeah.
Surely they should just immediately turn around and assimilate people.
Should have taken the opportunity to ambush.
There's something really eerie about this weakness of the Borg that they just sort of ignore you. Like
It's really
doesn't make a lot
spooky,
of
but
sense,
it's also
but it's-
tactically
yeah.
not sound.
right.
Well, I mean,
It probably works out well for the most of the time. Like that's probably part of it.
So did Worf just ignore
It's
the
also
Borg as they
convenient, of
walked
course.
past as well?
So if they ignore you, what if hypothetically we gave everybody on the ship a phaser and then had everyone, maybe like 2-1, have 2 people go and aim at the Borg, and then simultaneously you all shoot a Borg at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's
Get
gonna.
rid of them
I
all at
mean,
once, so they can't adapt.
I mean,
It's not a bad thought, really.
I mean, yeah, it's not a bad thought, but it's like how you have to do it very quickly until they adapt.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, it's better than shooting them one at a time. That never works.
You'd have to network all the phasers together to fire simultaneously because no person could push it at the exact moment.
I mean, just be glad that the Borg are like, when they come out of their alcoves, they're not like walking at a normal pace. I mean, just be glad that they're not the just be glad they're not the lore type Borg.
Somebody asked, why don't they just replicate some M16s? That effectively is what they do later.
Ooh, the shields look different.
Well, they got to make everything look different for a feature film.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. The old sort of weird blurry effect would not have looked good.
Okay, that's kind of intense for Star Trek.
Oh.
Snapping someone's neck.
Isn't that how Data killed the Borg in Descent?
He choked him out there. He held them up by the throat.
They've got cooties.
Bye, Data. Well, that was fast. Got captured immediately.
Imagine the Borg having to lie on the ground waiting for the door to open in anticipation.
That's a
They're
lot
just
more
hanging
strategy
out
than
there
they
waiting.
usually do.
Do I have to still stay laying down here? Yep, just for another 4 minutes.
I love the Klingon anthem they had there for a moment.
Okay. Picard has now murdered someone.
Yeah, that moment didn't used to bother me as much as it does now. I really hate that he does that.
I don't think it's strictly wrong.
It's to
I mean,
protect
there's
them from
nothing to
becoming
do.
a
I mean,
Borg.
the guy's story is starting to change. I mean, he's just putting him at his misery.
I mean, and he said earlier that was a thing that they should do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is similar to the scene in Voyager where, like, the Year of Hell, where Deck 15's about to go up in smoke, and the Doctor's holding the Jeffrey tube open, and he had to leave the Jeffrey tube open into the last minute until he had to close it.
And sealed someone on the deck that was exploding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's very
Yeah, they should
reminiscent
have
of.
brought
If you guys have seen the Firefly movie Serenity, when the Reavers attack,
Oh, yeah.
they do the same thing.
The same thing, yeah.
Just shoot him.
Just imagine the Borg attacking a Klingon ship and they just all go with Batless and the Borg
It's
will
probably
fail.
more effective.
I would love to see that.
Oh, Never say never.
I'm pretty sure we've seen at least one Klingon Borg before.
There is a Klingon in Voyager.
Yes.
Voyager.
In Unimatrix Zero.
Yes. The sphere that broke free.
Mm-hmm.
How do the Borg have this much time for interior design when they're trying to capture a ship?
Because reasons.
This seems really unnecessary. Are you sure about that, Data? Are you sure?
Sure about that, NVIDIA?
Oh, that drill bit's not very steady. You need to tighten that. Yep, cybernetic creatures. From the future. It's mostly right. It's not exactly enslavement, but it's pretty close.
I mean, if you just had to communicate it to someone quickly,
Yeah.
not a bad summary.
Would you be able to look down that telescope with his visor on?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that would have been impossible.
I really like when we're looking at the Enterprise E through the telescope, you can see some of the atmosphere wibbling around the edges. Because if you look through a real telescope, like at a planet, that's what you see.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, the air is moving around, it's slightly different temperatures, and it's mixing, and you just see some wibbling.
Computer off. Sorry, my echo went off. I had it for something.
But is there motion at the front door?
No, there's no motion. I had a reminder to do something, but I can wait to do that later.
Okay.
You might have your own personal first contact.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
There's
some,
certainly motion at Zephram Cochrane's front door.
maybe something I have to assimilate. Maybe something I have to assimilate. I don't know. Maybe I need more. Maybe I need more Borg drones. More Borg drones to assist me.
Well, if you can find some, that would be ideal.
Find Borg would not be ideal.
What do you mean? What's wrong with the Borg? They just...
Why are they hiding this to him?
They're working together for the greater good.
Rather bump into a Packlid.
I need someone to be in my collective.
Enterprise trying to retcons the understatement there a little bit.
Hey, Conqueror, what are you doing?
What do you mean? I remember that from Enterprise.
Did he just say some kind of Star Trek?
Yes.
Are you on my front door, Conqueror?
My God.
A title drop some, 40 years later?
Astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
He's got to go consult.
I remember in Enterprise, during probably the first episode, or maybe the second, they're arguing with T'Pol, tripping T'Pol. And he's like, well, you can't judge us too harshly. I mean, we wiped out like disease and poverty and all that stuff in like 30 years. In a single generation.
Yeah, this it's not quite the same policy as is shown here, but there is still less well-off people in Enterprise.
Zephram Cochrane has to take a break to go consult his pet pig.
Wait. No, I don't think that was Paul.
Why work so hard to create all these things when you got proper arms in the meantime?
They have branding to consider. They have to change all the lights on the ship to green. They gotta get that steampunk aesthetic on all the corridors.
I don't even think steampunk was a thing at all yet. in 1996.
No,
It
this
could
is
be 24th century
no,
copyright.
it was. Wild Wild West came out not long afterward, so and I doubt
That
they
was-
invented it.
No, that was 1999.
Right. So, but I'm sure that wasn't the first appearance of steampunk.
This was made
Did
in
you just say they've taken
1996.
half the ship?
Yes.
We should really blow it up. That's a lot of ship for the Borg to have.
Steampunk might not
Why
have
are we
been
still
big yet.
on the Enterprise?
Did Wild Wild West make steampunk big? Because that's a weird fact. If that's true.
How many decks on a Sovereign?
As many as they want.
yeah.
Yeah, the number changes.
Enough.
Well, I know. Okay, well, on a Galaxy class, it's 42. So I would imagine. I'm just gonna ballpark it here. Probably 50, maybe 55 at most. I'm just guessing.
No, it's less. It's a much smaller
It's
ship.
less.
He
Oh,
says
it's
how
less.
many decks there are in a few minutes.
Picard was about to say how many decks there are, and then Worf is going to say that they're on a lower deck than that.
Yeah.
What was that movie where Spock is like rocketing up a turbo lift shaft? And we see
Probably
like 100
5, Star Trek
decks, and some of
5.
them are repeats.
So,
Deck 89.
That was Shatner in one of
That was
Like
Final
20.
Frontier.
Final Frontier.
That was Final Frontier. Mhm.
Okay. Oh, there's New Zealand. That's where the admiral's from.
Kendall.
Are
Just
they
Googling
upside
Sovereign
down?
have 24 decks.
Officially.
Why is this such a big thing, though, for Lily? Because, I mean, this is, what, 2364 or
They're
whatever?
aware of space travel.
I mean, 20 whatever. They're aware of space travel. There's obviously got to be spaceships orbiting the Earth. And if he's going to take off a backyard science project around the Earth tomorrow, then obviously other groups of people around the Earth are able to do the same thing.
yeah, but
So seeing the
she
Earth
has
from
a-
space is not an extraordinary thing necessarily.
It would be
it is,
weird
yeah.
if you weren't expecting it and it was your first time. I think that would throw you. Like if you haven't actually been up in space, right? It's probably still like maybe hundreds of people have been into space.
I'd still be pretty shocked if I woke up and I was in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a documented psychological phenomenon called the big picture effect that literally everybody who has been up in space says they experience when they realize just how small the Earth is and how we all really need to start working together.
Wow.
No, interesting.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, so there's also
That line from
context as
Captain
well.
Picard a minute ago about maximum setting. If you had fired this, you would have vaporized me. Apparently, there was an alternate take, or maybe not a take, but an alternate line in a script where they were considering saying minimum setting. If you had fired this, all you would have done is given me a mild rash. So Picard was just going along with it. It's a nice little effect there. Suitably spooky.
That was used in the trailer.
Yeah, naturally. As a striking image.
How many Borg queens are there? Because this one dies and then she just shows up again.
More retcon.
I don't think it's a retcon exactly.
That's something that always bugged me at the end of Voyager.
But it's the same actor. It's the same actor.
That's the thing that always bugged me at the end of Voyager. Like after the destruction of the Borg complex in the series finale of Voyager. I mean, there's a never Borg queen, right?
Maybe.
I thought there was
Several.
only
They
one.
splintered the collective effectively, right?
I mean,
it's the same actor.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, during that timeline, I mean, the Borg dealt a crippling blow, but I'm guessing they work as what's the like a virus. Like you chop the head off one, if you haven't destroyed the heart of it, it will still exist.
I mean, there isn't a heart of the Borg. That's what makes them so scary.
My head canon is that
of his crewmates.
On a different sort of question, why is the Borg Queen so shiny?
Yeah.
Is she being water cooled because she doesn't have most of a body?
Like the Borg Queen.
it's like Doctor Who, moisturize me.
Organic skin onto my exoskeletal structure. Wait, did he say exoskeletal? Because he doesn't have an exoskeleton.
Maybe he means the structure outside his skeleton. Like
That's just his skin again.
Yeah.
I think he said endoskeleton, didn't he?
He might have said endoskeleton.
You would think Noonien was scared of the color blue.
Why is that?
There's no blue lights inside him.
Well, yeah.
What about those
Blue
LEDs
LEDs
in his head?
invented,
When
yeah.
they
Actually,
take
they
the
had
camera
just-
off? Were those blue?
They'd barely been invented when this movie
None
was
of
being
it. It's
shot.
all
I
like
guess.
red, green, and yellow, and orange, and whatever.
But
Yeah.
blue LEDs were not invented until 1993.
Yeah, exactly. So they like existed, and were, I think, in a few at that point. Does that recall?
It sounds Swedish.
I don't know what to say.
Now I'm
Borg?
picturing the Swedish chef.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
How many decks?
24 decks.
Borg.
24 decks. For now. For the moment, there's
I'm the
24 decks.
Borg. How are you?
Greetings.
And
Oh, no.
another line
Yes.
that try not to think about it too hard. The whole economics of the future. Just accept what he says. Don't worry about it. The
Gold,
economics are
red,
different in
platinum.
ways no one can understand. Really, those people who are working in mining complexes dig into lithium in horrible working conditions. They're working to better themselves and humanity. They chose to work there.
Well, they've all been replaced. They all lost their jobs to EMH Mark Ones.
They did.
And then the Mark IIs took over.
The Andy Dicks.
Oh God, yeah.
And we could have
That's a
had the
frightening
Bashirs,
thought.
but we could have had the Bashirs, but then again, what was it, genetic modifications?
Just turns around and then turns back around again.
Definitely not Swedish. They're not even tennis players. Oh no.
It's the Borg, not the Bjorg.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't yell at them. That's rude. Just because they look different. Be nice to the Borg.
I suppose they're having a
Why would you do
conversation
that?
through the collective, like, so how are you doing today, Steve? They're all working there.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like, I
gotta
like
be
the
way
blue
quieter
light
than
you
usual
have.
for them. Only a few dozen voices instead of millions or trillions.
It's true.
It's gotta be a nice reprieve for the ones that showed up initially. Oh, the
They
big
make
goodbye,
those doors
waiting pool.
really reinforced. My god.
Yeah. I mean, they're metal. And there's Neelix.
Is it?
Is it?
Oh,
What?
it is.
That's a good cut, though.
Wow.
I noticed the door said
Oh,
Hollow
yes.
Suite 4 and not Holodeck 4.
Oh, interesting.
This is the wrong chapter.
Ahead of you again.
Now this
We're getting
actually
a little bit
still-
of continuity from TNG Season 1, The Big Goodbye.
yeah, this reminds me
Oh,
a
nice.
little bit of adventure games too, because later adventure games had specific chapters where you could skip around in the story, essentially, kind of like they did.
Nicky the Nose. Can he smell through that thing? Does he just not have a nose, or did Did he just put that over his nose?
You think with all those fancy upgraded eyes on the Borg, they could see through all this?
Well, they see that it's a hologram before.
Hey, wait a minute. Is this the same character and actress as in the episode from season 1?
It is. Same actor.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Same character
Awesome.
and actress?
Yeah.
Wow.
He just lit a cigarette on his nose. I mean,
Is that
a
what it's
match
for?
nose.
The nose? Are we sure that some big mob boss would just let some guy, basically a cop, come in and start feeling up his guys? Because he seemed pretty relaxed about it.
He obviously disabled the safety protocols.
And probably edited the chapter.
All right, calm down, Captain.
I think he's becoming a boss. Yeah.
Is that the first time they turned off the safeties on purpose on the holodeck?
Yes.
Oh, they actually explained it.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for the heart. The precious heart. Is the Borg an organ donor? We're about to find out.
A Borgen donor.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it's not Paul. That's Lynch.
Who just got lynched.
So is that the clothes they're wearing? Are those like a holographic overlay and they're still wearing their real clothes?
Yeah, I think so.
I always
I
wondered.
think so in this test.
Could have been the transporters and replicators changing their clothes for them.
Oh, Lieutenant Broccoli's back.
Probably an illusion.
Jordy, what are those glasses? What are you wearing? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, he's trying to make it exactly like the original Phoenix. I was like, surely you know enough that you can just make an intermix chamber. You work with them all the time.
Barkley.
Barkley's just hanging out in the background like, can I talk now?
Oh, hey.
It's just copper tubing.
Don't worry about it. It's a plasma conduit now.
Oh, then again, it certainly could be made out of copper.
I forgot Barclay was in this.
Did you mean to say broccoli?
I didn't, but
Just roll that he's broccoli.
yeah.
Well, he behaves like it.
Oh, we know it. He's every bit Barclay there.
I think you mean broccoli.
I have to take a whiz.
High stool?
I mean, you don't need to inform us of that. You can just go.
No, I'm just quoting the scene from the film.
High stool in Star Trek.
What's wrong with that?
It's just interesting that they have high stool.
Well, I mean, there are still young people who need to be educated in the future.
True.
Yeah.
Is this before or after Pathfinder?
Pathfinder?
Oh, that was a Voyager
This is
episode,
way before.
Greg.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, you're thinking Friendship 1.
No, Pathfinder. With
I thought Pathfinder was the one. I thought Pathfinder was the project they made to find Voyager.
Yeah.
yeah, to communicate with it.
Okay, sorry.
You mean like not actually in Bozeman, Montana,
This
but
is-
like where Jean-Luc came from.
I think First Cantech
Yeah,
came
that's it.
before. before the Pathfinder.
Yes, definitely.
I was thinking, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this 2063 happened before Voyager, but no, you mean the other part of the movie.
In real world continuity, yes. 1996 is the first Contact movie release date. And
He's misquoting
Well,
Mark.
it's a simulation. A werewolf. She took it a lot better than Mark Twain did.
Yeah,
And
right.
literally every other character that's seen Worf from the past.
So they often disguised Spock as human, but they never disguised Worf as human, right?
Nope. They gave him a hat once to hide his ridges, but that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for tribbles.
I still maintain they should have just put him in TOS makeup and never mentioned it.
That would have been good.
yeah, so this came
Save
out in
money, too.
96. This came out in 96, and the Voyager episode Pathfinder aired in 99. So it's a good number of years before that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my phone just went off, and because I have a Star Trek hailing as my ringtone, it's very confusing.
He's got implants at his visor.
They don't do enough spacewalks in Star Trek. For a movie
It's true.
for television series and movies that are set nearly 99% in space, they sure don't go out into space a whole lot.
Well, no, you see,
It's so
one
much
half of this
cheaper
movie
just to-
on the Enterprise is among the stars, and this half is in a trek through the woods. It's half and half.
Oh, the deflector dish. It was originally blue, like the Enterprise A deflector dish. They had to change it when they cooked up this scene because they couldn't film in front of a blue background because of the.
That makes
editing.
sense.
So
You can see a lot of blue in the reflection of their helmets.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Convenient having a new ship and be able to decide that sort of thing.
Really, she's into the Dixon Hill canon now? Is she gonna
Maybe
look
it
it up
was
when
her
she gets
favorite.
home?
Maybe if she already knew it. Maybe it was her favorite book character too.
Maybe.
It's true.
It's a long shot, but possible.
Boy, I sure love
Here's
this Lieutenant Hawk character. Wonder if he'll show up in the next movie.
They're officially in Australian mode.
No,
There's
no, eyes on the hole. Nope.
There's a very famous photograph that was taken, I believe, in 1972 or 1971.
It's clearly a miniature.
And I think it's called the Big Blue Marble, something similar. But it's
Oh, yeah.
it's the very first photograph that was ever taken of the entire planet Earth.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, oh,
Are you
oh!
thinking
Actually,
of pale,
Apple
pale
uses
blue
that
dot?
as a-
the pale,
wallpaper, right?
the pale blue dot. That was 1990, actually.
Is that Paul on the
That
left?
must have
I
been
think
early
that might be
1990.
Paul. I think that actually is Paul, who's messing with Data right now. Hey, Paul.
Here we are. The Blue Marble is an image of Earth taken on December 7th, 1972, from a
Oh,
distance
okay.
of about 29,000 kilometers, 18,000 miles from the planet's surface. It was taken by
Oh.
the crew of the Apollo 17 spacecraft on its way to the moon and is one of the most reproduced images in history.
Okay, okay. So they did. Okay.
So, follow-up question. Why is Paul the only Borg who gets to keep his hair?
And both arms.
And both
Is
arms?
that Napoleon?
Did they assimilate the barber?
Barber is it again? Blue dice.
About 1996, these lightning discs behind Data's head were suddenly invented, and everybody was using them everywhere.
Okay.
It's one of the things that feels kind of dated now, since it's something that you see everywhere in real life.
I've never seen one of those in real life.
One of what? Say again?
Spencer's at the mall has them in droves.
The Borg lightning screen things.
You mean like a plasma ball thing?
The lightning circle that was behind Data's head on the operating table. You see it there above their heads in the background.
Yeah. Plasma balls weren't that uncommon.
Noted. The Borgwing's wrong here. He has always known how to lie. He's been lying since episode 1.
So Vulcan.
So Vulcan indeed. Tear it off. Tear off the skin. Do it.
The skin, presumably, of his crewmates.
Do it.
Maybe it's Paul's skin.
Ew.
I mean, they've got plenty to go around.
Do it.
Oh, no. No. Queen,
to see
leave him
some
alone.
Fully capable.
Is this the appropriate time to make a humorous reference?
They actually directly reference Natasha Yeo in season 1.
Yep.
8 years, 7 months. Okay, we know exactly how long it has been since that episode.
Ew.
Data.
Star Trek First Contact.
I like how the writing on the ship is upside down, because of course we're upside down on the ship.
Oh yeah.
Do you suppose that was the only time Tasha and Data?
Yes.
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 And what about when Data dated that other character?
He never got that far. Not nearly.
He was way too creepy.
Montana. or
Yes,
should we
destroy
say,
half the ship. Blow it up. Shoot the dish.
Hollywood.
Shoot the dish. Solve all the problems immediately.
Do it.
Do it. Zephram, where are you going? Where are you running to? What is your plan here?
Just to run.
It's everywhere around you.
You could just, well, I was gonna say you could just ask them to not make a statue, but historically we know that doesn't work. People have said, don't make me a statue, and then they just get statues of them for saying that.
Yeah. Sometimes
Wait, he didn't get knocked out.
Nah, it was a
So
light
much for
scene.
its stun setting.
Yeah, apparently there's a low stun setting.
I think there actually is. Honestly.
We told him about the statue.
The sensitive setting.
How did you know it was the majority?
No, just
Stun for sensitive skin.
Yeah.
Because he's worth it.
Really, Ryan.
Yeah. Do you think Zephyr Cochrane is not worth it?
Just stop.
Other
This
than the fact that he got together with a space cloud that possessed Commissioner as a meat corpse, and he was fine with that. Maybe he's not worth it.
This was just about the time in real life where computers were really able to be easily programmed to display graphics similar to the Okutograms that you saw in
Oh yeah.
in the Next Generation. And so this panel offline there, that's a
Like
real
the green
monitor, for
gloves.
example.
Long before we had them.
That's not just a light panel that lights up with a stencil.
That's probably actually a CRT.
Yeah.
Enterprise had all those first generation LCD monitors everywhere, like 4x3, you know. Wee.
Bye.
Nice ride.
I like how we can see the blue screen effect around him. He's kind of fuzzy on the edges.
And he'll fly until he bumps into a ship hundreds of years later and start another Borg incursion.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I got a good question here. Maybe I thought of it when I first saw this movie, maybe not. But these Borg are out here without spacesuits on, and they have organic parts on them. Why have they not exploded due to the vacuum of space?
People don't do that.
Okay, why have
They
they not?
explode in space.
Why have they not simply died from the vacuum of space then?
Right.
They are Borg.
Well, I'm guessing they're because of their cybernetic enhancements, they've reached a point where,
Yeah.
they've reached a point where they're how would I put it? They're more artificial than organic. I'm probably running.
There are organic things that can survive in space too. I mean, it's not a
There
They
are?
actually had to change the outside of the ship because of this set.
tardigrades, or at least they can hibernate, sort of, in a sense. They shut down, and then they can survive being in space.
Jesus, Captain, you specifically told people not to do that.
Yep.
He's the captain.
You can't fire a
That's
gun
really
at the
good.
deflector.
That's a good tactical move, though. He fired at the deck, which shot him off into space. Therefore, they didn't have that step to adapt.
Worf, that was a wildly dangerous maneuver. You didn't, carefully pull that from a sheath. That was just touching your spacesuit, and you pulled it full force. You could have ripped your suit.
Yeah, that's
He did.
you never. Well, no, the Borg ripped his suit, but that's still something you never want to do in a spacesuit.
Yeah, that's kind of
Never pull a
Worf.
giant knife.
Never have
Bring a batleth.
outside
Jeez,
of your
Pete.
suit or inside your
Excuse me,
suit.
that wasn't a badleth. That was a mechleth.
That's a Klingon.
Bye, Hawk.
Oh, he'll be back.
You asked about a Klingon Borg. Well, there's one there. So must have been a Klingon on the ship.
Oh, how did that happen?
Yeah, that just kind of slipped through,
Good
huh?
point.
Or that was one of the Borg that beamed over.
Yeah, it might have been.
Oh, yeah. But they could have another Klingon on board. I mean, been a couple of years since season 7. There could be more. How long do we know that Worf to be the only Klingon in Starfleet?
I think this takes place at the same time as. Maybe at the same time as DS9, maybe a little bit later. He's probably still the only Klingon in Starfleet.
Alright.
This is so cringy
Yeah,
to
this time
watch.
it's still going on as this is set.
What do you mean it's cringy to watch?
What do you mean?
Because this set that has to
What
actually change the
you
outside
mean?
of
They
the ship.
assimilate this?
If I recall correctly.
Oh boy.
It is
You gotta
kind
have
of
you.
neat.
Yeah, you gotta have your one-liners.
That is kind of neat. There's no such thing as being backed up against a wall because you can just walk up the wall.
Okay.
He safely flies over the jet that blew the other Borg into space, right?
Well, the Borg was at the concentration point.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, hang on!
We did it, boys. We got him.
Wait a minute. Worf's gonna. What happened to Worf's pressure suit? What the?
Oh, hey, Hawk. I don't know how you got assimilated because the Borg didn't actually, puncture your suit. But apparently
That's
you
the
did.
that's the 50-50 Borg assimilation practice. One half's Borg, the other half's human.
I see. It's very effective, Michael. Well done.
That,
I feel like you're going to have a lot of trouble in your lower leg, but
yeah,
it's better than
really
having
too.
trouble in your, everywhere else.
simulate this.
It's like, oh no, they turned off the deflector dish.
She sensed a tremor in the force.
What would you like me to do, Worf? Okay, we did it. We saved the
Good time.
day.
Kaboom!
And
The
roll
Borg are
credits.
done.
I'm a little
Lots of
confused
dramatic
why
explosions.
I'm a little confused why the Starfleet EV suit doesn't have some means to actually protect somebody from a breach like that.
Yeah,
What, you
the
mean like,
Enterprise
like-
suits
like-
did.
Oh, what?
Like,
You're right.
like an
Exactly,
emergency
Enterprise
force
suits
field?
do.
The tire slime or great stuff foam just automatically and fill the hole.
They kind of lost that technology after
They missed the memo.
the NX-01, after the Xindi attack. It destroyed
Expect
the
it
Foam
happen
Institute
again.
in Florida.
Well, too bad they didn't have that technology in like the animated series where you had like that
Did this?
the
Yeah.
belt.
The belt that has the personal force field, and you don't even need an EV
Yeah.
suit.
Okay.
Did the
What
Xindi
about the
attack
personal
happen
force field
yet
that
in this
Worf
continuity?
developed on a holodeck with a box of scraps?
That too. I thought,
It only worked once.
I thought when you started that sentence saying the personal force field that Worf developed, you were going to talk about just the cable from the Borg hand that he had on his leg.
No, that's something else. So this scene is another reason I can't play the audio on YouTube. That's copyright strike number 2.
Yeah.
I think some writer probably saw like the Nutty Professor or something, and they're like, you know, what if we did the same thing except we have Brent Spiner play all the roles? And they wrote that episode with the holodeck.
It's a good episode.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour.
Thinking about his motivation here.
Yep. Money. Are there still trains? After the destruction of World War III and the nuclear holocaust that ensued? Is that a thing?
That's why he's having to do this instead.
There's no trains anymore, so he has to? Okay. Have a quick warp over to New Zealand. That's probably my favorite line from, honestly, maybe Star Trek in general. Don't try to be a great man, just be a man. If you're a great man, that's incidental.
So he himself is one of the things that's changed by First Contact Day.
Yep.
Or the
Thanks,
effects of it,
Alexis.
that is. Of course, he lives it. He lives it into the future, 10 years, whatever.
Could we at least like replicate some swords for them to use?
Or,
So they
or
don't have to try and
slingshots.
punch the Borg that are made of metal?
Replicate batlets.
Replicate batlets. Go to Worf's quarters. Where does he live? He probably... Oh, wait, he doesn't have quarters. He doesn't live here anymore. Okay, so they came into the past April 4th, and now they're doing the warp flight, so it's April 5th. It's been a full day.
Yeah, it happens after dark on April 5th.
Now, how... Did the Borg
So when-
simulate all the bathrooms?
I will show you where you
Now,
stand.
now we have the big question of what do Borg... how do they...
How do they eat? What do they eat? They just get energy, don't they? They don't actually eat
that's
food.
their, we see particularly 7 of 9. It's
Yeah.
their docking, their stations that they stand in, whatever they're called.
They just plug in to charge.
They plug in a
exactly.
charge and get the food that way. It's shown with Geordi and Hugh.
Yeah, with Q.
It's particularly shown with 7 of 9, where even after removing the implants and things, they have to recharge her every now and then.
I guess they improved their charging technology between Hugh and 7, Because 7 charges wirelessly, Hugh had to plug in. Maybe that's just because he didn't have an actual alcove.
No, the plugin was intentional to restrict the amount of access for Hugh.
So can we talk about how this? Can we talk about how this isn't necessarily a bad decision by Picard? Because, like, if we're taking on the premise that the Borg have more than half the ship at this point, they've got to have 2 or 3 transporter rooms. If they detect a self-destruct sequence, they're just going to beam down to the planet.
But if they have transporter rooms, they could have just beamed down already and probably have.
And also, there's something else he's forgetting, right? Even if the ship was destroyed, you're gonna have pieces of the ship that's gonna have Borg. I mean, there's that to consider as well.
Each time we see the self-destruct, it is designed to completely obliterate the ship.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Then again, we see self-destruct in Star Trek 3, and all that blows up is the saucer section, and the rest of the ship ends up in the atmosphere.
That's a bit iffy.
The Enterprise E has a major upgrade in its ship models. The D had just half of the ship model in gold in the wall. They have the full models now. They found the other half.
Didn't the model wall change throughout the series? I think they got rid of it in later seasons, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yes, it's. I think it's. I'm not sure when it changes, but at some point late in TNG, it just becomes like a geometric shape on the wall.
Yeah, like the triangles. Alternate.
Triangles? Triangles? What kind of triangles?
No, not a ship. It's
Not a ship.
I think there were isosceles triangles.
Patrick Stewart, of course, has played Captain Ahab in another movie.
So
And I often wonder if this is the scene that inspired him to do that.
I think he's talked about it, but I don't remember what he said.
Oh, these were Playmates toys painted gold, by the way.
I've seen those models at the
Symbolism.
Those are some big models. Look at the Enterprise E. It's like 2 feet long.
Line must be drawn here.
Sorry, for our European viewers, that's like 2/3 of a meter long.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the Moby
You mean
Dick ship, the
in
movie
literate
came out 2 years
resonance.
after this.
Okay. Here.
Of course, why do they really need glass to protect it? Do they have many people walking in there and grabbing those things and
It's
feeling
just
them up?
protected from dust. It's a lot easier to clean the glass than to clean
I
the
mean,
ships.
you can argue that
But the ship cleans itself.
True. You can argue they use decorative glass here rather than the actual ultra
Dramatic effects.
bulletproof glass that they have in everywhere else.
I mean, why use real models in general? Why not just have some holograms?
Sentimental value.
Because when the power goes out, they'll forget what ship they're on.
Yeah, so they can see it when they have no power.
Honestly, when the power goes out, the ship should just explode from all the antimatter.
Containment.
Good point.
Whoops.
But containment is a separate system.
So he
Yeah,
broke.
like the holodeck has a separate system that has infinite amounts of energy.
Well,
Or
maybe
the
it's
episodes where the
Oh,
holodeck
yeah.
keeps running, even though the ship is without power.
We know the
Especially in
big problem with
Voyager,
episode we watched
like
that
with
the
the Tom
Enterprise D
Paris
has
simulation
several
of,
fusion reactors.
What is it?
I have no idea what either of you said because you were talking at the same time.
Yeah.
In terms of the power, we know from a recent episode of TNG we watched that the Enterprise D at least has several fusion reactors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Proton is what I'm thinking of. The
Okay.
Captain Proton simulations run when the entire ship's out of power.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
That's good.
It's
So
like, why?
If the holodeck has separate and infinite power systems, and you can also make food on the holodeck that you can eat, why do they have replicator rations for food? Can't they just go to the holodeck to eat for infinite amounts of food?
Yeah. I mean, the whole replicator rations.
But you never
thing-
get full.
The whole replicator rations thing was just lip service to the concept of Voyager
Yeah.
being in trouble. And
Just
never,
remind
never
you.
actually in trouble.
Well, they fired many more torpedoes than they actually have.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah, there's
where-
a whole. There's a whole.
Everybody's gathered in the center of the bridge, but I don't see Tracy. Where is she?
Jeez.
I think she was behind them
She's
right
there.
there, actually.
No, that wasn't
she is.
Tracy. There's Tracy. Yeah, hey Trace.
There you go.
My run, keep getting ahead of you guys. At least the stream.
Seatbelts.
Yeah, this is the only instance of seatbelts in all of Star Trek.
I still wish they kept in the
That deleted scene from the very end of Nemesis where they get
That would have been
Yeah.
hilarious.
And even apart from the seatbelts, it's a genuinely really good scene about them continuing their explorations and going out. That is the only Star Trek password I know. 47 Alpha Tango.
You
I
don't know
unfortunately do
destruct
not know
sequence?
Data's really long password.
You don't remember the destruct sequence from Star Trek 3?
Wait, is that
Oh,
just the
jeez.
000 destruct?
Yeah.
No, it's like it's 111101 and then like 22 something something and then 33 something something and then 0000 destruct 0.
That's a terrible password.
It's 3 codes,
Yeah, that
so
is-
they do exactly what they did in this movie in Star Trek 3 and in the Corbomite maneuver, actually, in the original series.
Huh?
A 4-character self-destruct code is not enough. It needs to be longer.
1A,
Identified as well.
2B, 3.
You have to put your
That's
your
five.
own personal
I
authorization.
mean that's like
with your voice
that's like
print,
1, 2,
and then
3, 4, 5.
password.
Yeah, it's Kirk. Kirk says destruct sequence 1, code 1A. Scotty says destruct sequence 2, code 1A, 2B. And then Chekhov says destruct sequence 3, code 1B, 2B, 3. And then it's 000 destruct 0 for the final sequence.
Yeah,
Took
that's
me a
not
second
good
to
enough.
remember it.
Is his voice
Like,
print identified?
to get into my computer, if you have physical access, all you need is the 4-digit PIN that Windows asks you for. But my computer also does not have an antimatter core.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could open half my devices with my fingerprint
Or
if I was
does
unconscious.
This would have a lot more weight if
Yeah,
this
they're
was a
shipping a
brand new
Newegg
ship.
right now.
Did you just say what I was thinking? Which is like this whole scene would be a lot more impactful if this was actually
Yeah.
the Enterprise D.
Yeah,
Love that underglow lighting of blue.
yeah, we never really got that in Generations. It was just sort of, whoops, we're blowing up. Everyone leave.
The escape pod hatches that are the roof cargo containers, Thule cargo containers.
Those get used in so many shows. There's a subreddit called That's a Book Light, and it's basically just a subreddit devoted to taking pictures of things used as props in movies and TV shows
Right.
that are just real world objects. And those
Huh?
cargo carriers show up all the time.
Oh yeah,
Qui-Gon's
Here's the
communicator is a-
copyright
like
scene.
speaking of props, there's like this these 2 tubes of lights that's basically been in everything, like from like the 80s.
With the 4 neon lights that rotate? Yes.
Yeah.
I know
Yes,
exactly what you're talking about.
yes.
Is this how the Vulcan first warp program went?
Yeah, they
What
played the
other
same.
species would do this? Is it just humans?
And somehow they're
Wait a
standing this
minute.
close to the rocket's ignition, and it doesn't hurt them.
We can't
No, don't worry about it.
So I'm watching the Paramount Plus version, and the song they're playing it's the Steppenwolf song, but it's a cover. It's not the original.
Did they just lose the rights to use the song? They can't.
They must have, yeah.
Wow.
Well, in the movie Wayne's World, when
Oh,
they're in the
yeah.
car shop, in the theater version, Wayne actually starts playing "Stairway to Heaven," and they stop it. In the TV movies and the home video versions, it's just a random guitar riff, and then he stops him, and he still points to the same sign because they only got the rights to use it in theaters somehow.
The shot is used in
Oh,
Enterprise.
I heard that
in the
they
title
just cut it
sequence.
down further and farther, but that makes more
About to sing
sense.
it.
It's been a long road.
Getting from there to here.
And it's been a long
There's
time,
a,
but our
um,
time is finally near.
There was an early 2000s adult cartoon called Mission Hill where they had like indie tracks and whatever. And I think in the DVD release they had to replace it with other music.
I noticed there was a riff that was gone from Boston Legal in the DVD release. It's actually a pretty common thing.
that moment where he tells him there's a problem. He's like, ignore it. I know that feeling.
It's fine. As long as the ship's not actively blowing up, just keep going.
Cinderman torpedo tubes.
And Starfleet, of course, will continue this policy of just keep going with the first Warp 2 test? Warp 3? They have this test program to increase the warp factor with Archer and some other guy. And the ship's blowing up. It's like, nah, it'll be fine. Just keep going.
We have CGI because they actually have lots of things on the screen.
Starfleet is like, no, we're cancelling the test. We're not doing it again. And then they're like,
we're going.
Yeah. It's
that hallway looks
captain
extremely
and Tucker
clean.
said they were doing it.
The hallway looks what?
Clean.
Well, the Borg, they sweep and they mop. They keep
They-
looking spiff.
There's a couple of questions
clean.
I've got.
Another
there we
one.
are, yeah. So in the in the original timeline, Zephram Cochrane had to have two people behind him in those other two seats. Obviously, it wasn't Geordi and Riker.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it?
Probably two
Well,
people
Lily
who are
probably
dead
would
right
have
now.
been there.
Well, Geordi and Riker pulled Captain Sisko and replaced them, and then disappears.
Well, right.
Like-
But it's a good question who they would have been.
There
That
also just
timeline
might not
doesn't
have been
exist.
two seats
That-
because they did modify the ship heavily. Or more or less. Maybe just the one seat for Lily.
It's the Pogo paradox. There is no original timeline.
That's a retcon. Him knowing the tween.
I don't think it's a retcon. It's just it's an addition. It doesn't remove anything.
was meant to
from this
happen.
canon.
It was meant to happen.
It's a retcon in the way that there wasn't a tween previously, that Pitar doesn't really mention her.
It's timey-wimey stuff.
Yet
It's
just
strange
lampshade the
how-
fact that she should be dead. And just pretend like the audience is stupid for even asking the question how she's here. 'Cause she is, don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
See, my headcanon is that she's like an emerging intelligence out of the collective, out of the mass of thoughts, and then they just make a physical body for her wherever.
That's actually a
makes
good
sense.
idea. I like that much better than her just coming up for this movie.
I guess they expanded on the Locutus idea. They needed a representative to basically bring in individualistic species into a collective consciousness. And the best way to do that is through a quote-unquote representative. Since they failed with Locutus, then I guess the Borg Queen, or Queens per se, would be the next best step.
We're getting audio from the movie from somebody.
Jinx. I don't understand why the Queen has such a deep personal interest in Picard. Is it just because he's Captain Picard and we all love Picard?
No, because I'm guessing because he was Locutus and he was like the first generator of the whole representative type.
Well, he was the first one that escaped or was unborgified, right?
Yes.
Ever.
That's how she,
as far as
yeah,
we
that's-
know.
So she's taking
Well,
an
She
interest
was
in
interested
him.
in before that.
What Petard says is that he wants him as someone with a free mind to be similar to her.
It's the romance.
It's his bald head. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
People are attracted to people who look like them.
All you need to do is add some pipes to the back of him. He'll be great.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
Water cooling. And
Okay,
just
this
like
is-
that.
I really hope that this was actually a fake out from Data. He just made the computer say it was deactivated. Because he doesn't know that his plan is going to work here. This is
No,
wildly
he did it
dangerous
for
on his
real.
part.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if he miscalculated. Oops.
He committed to this deception. He went all in.
There is no
Okay.
way he actually deactivated the self-destruct, surely.
He learned it from Riker.
I mean, he probably puts a link so you can just activate it if absolutely
Oh,
necessary.
there's Paul again. And pause. I think that might be the last time we see Paul. Wow, really cutting it a bit close. 5 minutes. That's a little bit corny, but okay. And there's the Enterprise. You think that Vulcans would just notice the Enterprise there? This massive ship?
I always thought that too. But I think they did something like they hid themselves behind the moon. Oh no, that's later.
Star Trek 4 that they
Jesus.
that had a cloaking device.
Zephyr, why are you looking at the camera?
You think the Vulcans would have at least detected the duranium debris from the deflector,
Oh yeah.
Or the remnants of the Borg sphere?
right? The recent
we're in
weapons
Antarctica?
fire.
In this is shown that they have to do a certain distance with the warp drive for the Vulcans to notice, to stay a bit far out.
Well,
Sure,
even
but
they
then they
get
come to
here,
Earth.
there should be debris.
Yeah, true. The
But then
Vulcans just
it is
hide
early on, so maybe the Vulcan sensors aren't just that great yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
But-
maybe they,
They'll
or
just
maybe,
hide
yeah,
that
or maybe
information
that,
that they know.
I think I do
Or maybe
remember that they hide the Enterprise behind the moon.
Yeah, they do later on. But there's no reason to think between now and then that they didn't detect the Enterprise E's warp core instead of that ship going to warp.
True.
God, Data, this is so reckless of you. You missed it by like a meter.
resistance is futile.
Why didn't you do that just when her back was turned before you fired the torpedoes?
Dramatic effect.
He could have just done that at any time,
He could have. What is your
Like-
plan here, Data?
way long time ago, without Picard having to be in there.
He's
Borg
risking
strike.
the future of the Federation for, dramatic effect.
Well, that looks safe.
Yeah, because he doesn't need Picard for anything.
No.
Okay, that's
Suppose-
interesting.
yeah, they could have at least had him like struggle with it. Like maybe he actually didn't decide until that moment. But no.
Well, he did struggle with
Apparently he was
it
just biding his
for
time for no
0.27 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Lots of hand grabbing going on.
Nobody will be admitted during the hand grabbing scene.
Alice is gone now.
Wee.
I'm not clear if she's actually dead, but she's sort of.
She's not.
This is
her
her-
version. Her version of the Borg Queen comes back in
What a world!
Voyager.
What a world!
It's her T1000 melting moment.
You stupid ball man.
Are you okay? There it is, tiny little Earth.
They were at warp 1 for a long time. Should be a lot farther away than that.
It's true.
Well, they cut away.
So
We don't know
warp
how
pod
long
is
they
quite
Warp
were.
slow.
one's the speed of light. They were at warp for what, a couple minutes?
Even if it was like 40
Like-
seconds, if you're moving at that speed,
Now, if you're moving
Yeah.
you only get
the moon is only like a second away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sun is 8 minutes away.
The room cleared in seconds.
Right, but so the planet should be pretty far away, I should think.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Halfway to the
Gas in
sun.
that room.
Light time to moon is 1.255 seconds. Round
Yeah.
trip 2.51.
Yeah. So if you're halfway to the sun, I don't think Earth is visible.
I mean, even if they
Like-
were only going warp for 40 seconds or so, Both
Like
the
time
Earth
to
and the
the-
moon would be a tiny dot.
It also might have just been like this was a simultaneous and they just cut back to the current. Maybe this was happening at the same time.
Magic of editing.
So here, Captain Picard picks up the skull and spine,
Yep.
and he breaks the spine, which is not nearly as satisfying as crushing the skull would be.
I mean, that skull looks really hard to crush. It's solid metal.
Oh, by
They
the
did
way,
it in Terminator Salvation, the helicopter.
apparently a couple hours ago, they dropped a teaser for season 4 of Discovery.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Seems-
But those
And
people
part-
on the internet told me that Discovery was canceled, that it was a complete failure.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
How can there be a season 4? Did the internet lie to me?
How does snapping the spine like that?
It's almost like a Star Trek show needs 3 seasons before it's good, or 2 seasons before it's good.
Maybe.
Do you notice in the background there's just like
It
empty
wasn't a
rubber
market
board
improvement.
suits slumped over the railing?
Those poor Borg. They killed Paul.
Data is ready for Christmas.
How long a time?
This-
Data?
No, he doesn't have
This
to be
close
yet.
up of his face here.
0.68. Wow.
His insides there are clearly below the level of his skin, which is obviously Brent Spiner's skin. So that had to have been a computer effect to make it look like it was below the skin level.
Or they could
Just
put
a lot of makeup.
Yeah, bring his arm upward.
Give him some latex.
Either. Yeah.
No, I mean, not his arm, his face.
Oh, his face.
Yeah, there's a makeup appliance to give him that effect.
Put away the shotguns.
It's a UFO.
E.T. phone home.
We should cut in the scene from the Mirror Universe Enterprise episode where it starts off with the first contact, and then Zephyr Cochrane pulls out a shotgun and blows away the Vulcans.
You stole
Yeah.
my joke that I was going to make in a second here.
Michael, would you
Rip.
care to make the joke anyway?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Right, was that a Vulcan there already? The guy looked very much like a Vulcan.
No, there's no Vulcans yet.
We know that they did stay and look at what was going on and stuff, but that guy had very Vulcan-like ears.
Imagine if that got stuck. You could never close the door.
I kind of don't like that there's just a hole in the bottom of the ship where that ramp slides through. Maybe it has a vent like opening it.
That whole landing craft is just weird and impractical.
Well, they are Vulcans.
It does.
Weird and impractical is
It
the
does
whole
look
ship.
kind of nicely TOS era, the Vulcan ship.
Hey, yeah, you're right. Maybe that's on purpose.
That it looks kind of oddly like cheap.
It's really ugly because in Star Trek canon, things were just ugly in the past. It looks evil, really.
It does.
If it weren't
wonder why
the
Mirror-
That
think
big
when-
pointy X
like-
shape.
Yeah, that's never a good thing. Like
It looks like a Trade
anything that
Federation
looks like
drop ship.
tentacles coming out, especially angular tentacles, they're not a good thing.
If
It
it's
looks like a
that
Trade Federation
angular,
drop ship in Star Wars.
if
It
it looks
shares
that
no
evil, I
design
can understand why Zephyr Cochrane pulled out the shotgun.
They speak English.
They do. But hang on, they don't even have a universal translator yet.
They already know how they
They
speak.
don't. Probably.
Enterprise. They had first contact before this.
But the Vulcans that... Yeah, how did they know how to speak in Carbon Creek?
And also, you have to keep in mind that was a different.
They've been monitoring them for a while.
That was a different.
They had a translator then.
But
The
Hoshi
Vulcans had their own
translator.
translator. The Vulcans had their own translation.
They just didn't give it to the humans.
That's right.
Being an
The humans
Enterprise.
had to figure it
Typical
out.
Vulcans. God, the Vulcans are just the worst.
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to be toasting and stuff like that later tonight and playing the rock music. Do you suppose that Vulcans invented alcohol before arriving here?
Interesting question. Kind of feel like Romulans would have, even if they didn't.
Oh wait, you're right. Romulans did. So why not
Not
Vulcans?
necessarily before the split.
Yeah, there's Romulan Ale and Kali Vol, I think it's called. I don't know about Vulcan drinks, though. I know Saval
I'm
says
pretty
that
sure-
Vulcans don't
I'm-
drink.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna guess that there probably was alcohol before the quote unquote Enlightenment period. So
Why would you
I'm guessing
transport near a
That makes
Vulcan
sense.
ship with science equipment?
Don't worry about it. They don't even know what transporters are. They're not going to be scanning for transporter signatures.
The Vulcan ships and Enterprise share no design language with this.
Well,
Oh, Data's still
They're-
missing half of his face. Poor
50 years
Data.
later.
Why does he say make it so then? That's really.
Because that's his catchphrase.
And they're just able
Try to
to
engage.
Yeah.
It's always. Like, I don't think. Even
Like,
especially
there's
with
actually
that,
no
the
downtime with their
engagement.
ship and recovering. Like,
Nope.
they're just ready to go and they just warp out. It's like, yeah, we're good. They got the crew back. We're all traumatized. Make it so.
Enterprise is the ship of horrors.
Like, how long did it take for them to rescue all the crew and get the escape pods gathered up so that there's no Federation tech laying on the ground anywhere?
It
Yeah,
took
these-
an amount of time that you don't need to worry about.
Even if they had
thinking, yeah.
succeeded, or even if they had given up the ship, those escape pods would still have survived into the 100 years future, etc.
And they probably beamed up the whole pod.
You're right. They could easily have located and beamed them. They would have had beacons on them for sure.
Now, what they did not salvage is all the Borg
Is the
debris
Borg-
and the Borg corpses that are in Antarctica. They didn't do
Yep.
anything with that.
Well,
mhm.
there is a grand total of 4 minutes extra footage on your cut.
You made it
minutes
through an
extra footage.
entire movie without any triangle ships.
No triangle ships. It's going to be really tragic when we do our original series watch along because there's not a single triangle there. They weren't invented yet.
Why are we bothering?
I know, but just for completion's sake, but it's gonna be sad.
You're
Even
right.
Enterprise has at least one triangle ship that I'm aware of.
Stuntborg. What a career.
Speaking of Enterprise, I want to bring up the episode Regeneration. There's one little clip I want to look at.
Oh.
It's interesting.
Where is
Your
it?
cut apparently has a whole 4 extra minutes. My.
I did you not get the bit with like the Vulcans partying?
Yeah, that was at the end. It's just like tiny bits extra throughout the film.
Whereas in Regeneration, here it is. So in the in Antarctica, where they find the Borg debris that's crashed from this movie, this right here, this prop, is the Enterprise E saucer section.
I
And it's covered it with fake snow.
Oh, nice.
think they actually find it at the North Pole, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's in some snowy place.
Welcome to Jigsaw Next Test. Joining the Discord and
Yeah.
the VC.
That's the saucer.
Oh, so they just took the prop. In other words,
Yeah,
the
just
actual
repurposed
model
it
they were
to
using.
make it look like.
Wow, that's a little bit sad.
I mean, they have the prop. You can't really tell it's the saucer unless you know what you're looking for.
Oh no, I know,
you
but it's
mean-
sort of it's undignified as a final use.
And it's literally a 2 or 3 second clip. Jeez, look how big that is, though, compared to the woman walking by. That's
Yeah.
a big prop.
Wait, that was a real. As in, that's a real.
Wait, you're saying that was the Enterprise E prop?
That's the Enterprise E saucer section That's the front part of the saucer. Here's all the windows along
Like the actual
You
model.
can see with the stream compression.
Oh, yeah, I believe that the studio model for the E was much larger than the studio model for the D. If I remember correctly, it was
look
10
at
or
it.
11
This woman
sense.
walks by, and it's like as tall as
Yeah.
her, just the front half of the saucer.
I mean, they were shooting for the big screen. That makes sense.
They made a huge Enterprise D saucer for the end of Generations where they have the rescue ships landing on it.
Oh, interesting.
So that's a whole separate model.
Huh?
Okay, well, that's
Do they use that any for
movie.
the crashing sequence, or is that just CG?
I think the crashing sequence they used the 6-foot saucer section, but then when it was on the ground, that was another model, and I can find the YouTube video that showed it. It might just be the top.
Interesting. That would make sense.
I'm pretty sure the saucer was model.
Oh, all of the stuff in Generations was a model,
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
and they reuse a lot of the clips from the show and from the previous movies for the
So
clearing.
they did the crashing then, practically then. That's
The
kind
crash,
of cool.
the crashing was practical. The burn, like the fire effect, the re-entry, that was CG, but everything else was practical.
Nice.
You mean in
There was some
Generation?
composite. Yeah,
What I've never understood about the Galaxy class starships with the saucer separation is that when the saucer separates, right, the saucer has no warp
drive?
cores. Yeah, has no warp drive. I never thought about this for
canonically,
years.
according to the lore, or however you want to put it, the star drive extends the warp field around the saucer and lets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Enterprise E was supposed to have a saucer separation too, and they just never did it.
Oh, interesting.
Huh. So canon-wise, is it capable?
I don't know. They
I'm
never
gonna
said
say-
it on screen.
They never said it on screen.
Yeah, did
but
it? So they must have had a battle bridge
but
then. I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
about that.
guess. But I'm gonna guess based on just the way the ship is designed. I'm gonna say no. And also, we have to keep in mind, just during the time period, with the whole, Battle Wolf 359, right? The whole design aesthetic for Federation ships changed at that time. So
I'm
There's that to
gonna
consider.
put in Trek spoilers. I'm gonna put an image of the concept art for the saucer separation of the E.
Oh,
Yeah, it does have the ability to do it. We never
so
see
they,
it.
they got it. They took the idea that seriously to commission concept art.
I'll go ahead and bring that up onto the stream.
Not sure. I'm not certain, but I think the E in Star Trek Online has saucer separation capability.
Man, the saucer section for the
Oh.
not the saucer, the primary hull. I can't remember which. Look, this bit
how
is really
consistent is
clunky.
Star Trek Online with
Primary
canon
is
as
star
much as there
drive.
is a canon?
It,
The engineering
in terms
section
of
is
the
very
ships
pointy on
themselves,
the E.
not at all, because it just puts every ship in Star Trek in the same time period.
Well, okay. Well, that's kind of inevitable.
But
But
in terms of the base storyline, it has relatively close. Though obviously Picard and that are changing what the storyline is.
well, right.
I think it was John Eves that designed the E. I think that the practical reasons for getting rid of the neck was that it made the studio model really difficult to rig. The center of gravity was really ungainly.
Oh, interesting.
It was off. It was driving them insane.
And he said that the neck, he thought the neck was a weak point because that's where Khan attacks in Star Trek 2, so he wanted to make it very thick, like make it transition to the primary hull without a thin neck.
in canon, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Wait, how would it have separated? Wait a second. Where would? Did it get put into?
Put in the what? What? What's
Someone's
the
gonna put the saucer separation concept into the.
Oh, it's in
It's
Trek
in the
spoilers.
Trek spoilers chat channel.
Oh,
as well.
spoilers. Oh, okay. I looked at general.
I can also put it back on the stream again. There it is.
That would
It
have
was never
worked out
mentioned on screen. John
perfect.
has worked out exactly how the Enterprise E saucer.
Oh, that's
would
kind of-
separate
that is
from the
cool.
engineering hull.
I bet they like that.
All right.
Good,
time
there
to
isn't
wrap
an
it up.
obvious neck anymore, but
If you're
That would've been sick.
interested in more movie commentaries, I'm not going to be doing any more for a while. However, there is a commentary for First Contact with Jonathan Frakes. 2 of them, actually. One of what that he did for the DVD, and one that he did during the lockdown with a couple of the producers. You can find those on YouTube. Those are pretty good. There's also a commentary for Insurrection with Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis, and it's amazing. But I can't find it on YouTube anymore. I think it was removed.
Oh,
It's
he
because of the
directed First
DVDs.
Contact too?
what's amazing about it?
It's just hilarious.
Oh, okay.
They're funny people, and they're good
Yeah.
friends, and they make jokes all the time about in the commentary. It's really good. Highly recommend it if you can find it. Not on YouTube anymore. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. Copyright, but I wish it was still available on YouTube.
Well, the one that Jonathan Frakes did recently, then that was just they decided to get on YouTube and literally just talk about it.
Yeah, they do the same sort of thing that we did. They had a countdown to the start, and they just...
Oh, wow.
Well, let me pull it up, actually. So you can see the title is Star Trek First Contact, Jonathan Frakes Live Q&A Watchalong. And it's just Jonathan Frakes and... I don't know who the other people are. It might say in here.
WFH Theater.
Don't know who they are. But yeah, they did a commentary with Jonathan Frakes where they just watched the movie. So that's pretty good. If you want to watch just the movie again right now. I'm not going to watch it again right now. But if you guys want to watch it again right now, you're free to do so. Other than that, that's about it, really.
Except
We stream every Saturday and Sunday, The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. We're in Season 5, about halfway through Season 5 for each of those. After that, we'll be doing the original series and Voyager. So that should be good.
Voyager.
Every Saturday and
What
Sunday.
I call the action Jackson Star Trek.
for every action, there is a Jackson.
Equal and opposite, Jackson.
That's enough for now. I'm out of here.
And everybody live long and prosper.
Thank you for joining me. Now go away.
Take care, everyone.
See you guys.
Yeah. For those remaining.